Hello, my name is Elliot Lenormand, and I am a nurse. Thank you for your interest in this noble, selfless profession. Let me begin by telling you to forget everything you thought you knew about nursing. Every nurse has his or her own experiences, stories, and reasons for the area in which they work, and every story will be a little bit different. I hope to convey to you my story. If it resonates, I encourage you to dig a little deeper to see if nursing is a field you would like to pursue. My story begins at the age of 17, my senior year at Archbishop Rummel High School. I rarely visited with guidance counselors, but on this particular day I spent some time with Sherry Spears, the senior level guidance counselor. It was an exploratory conversation to discuss my plans after Rummel. I was set upon one of two career paths, nursing and aviation. Mrs. Spears explained that as a pilot, I would be competing for a position with Air Force guys who had thousands of hours in the air compared to my relatively small resume going into aviation through a collegiate program. She also explained that family life would be strained as a pilot since I would likely be away for a good part of the time. Lastly, Mrs. Spears explained that if I went into aviation, I would never do anything in medicine. But if I became a nurse, I could always obtain my pilot's license and fly for fun. Needless to say, I listened to Mrs. Spears, graduating from nursing school in December of 2000 and earning my wings November 7th, 2001. I actually began flight school in May of 2001, but had a small setback in September when the government shut down airspace from coast to coast after 9/11. It took a few months longer to earn my wings, and I had to drive out to Hammond so I could fly outside of the 30 nautical mile ring of enhanced Class Bravo airspace, which surrounded the New Orleans metro. But I earned my single-engine land private pilot airman certificate. My interest in nursing began many years before my conversation with Mrs. Spears. My mother is a nurse, and when I was 7 years old, she fell, breaking her hip. I truly believe experiencing the care she received planted the seed for my interest in nursing as time passed. During my senior year, I began exploring various four-year university programs using a service to which Archbishop Rummel had just subscribed the previous year called the Internet. It was amazing. Instead of looking up phone numbers in university directories, I was able to connect directly to the university through a web page and find out more about the program. UL Lafayette had the best four-year bachelor's degree in nursing with the highest NCLEX pass rates. This was my choice. I graduated 4.5 years later, entering the workforce on an inpatient orthopedic unit. I remained there 8 years. During this time, I became orthopedic nurse certified and maintain that certification to this day. Nursing is unique in that most jobs require 5 days of work per week. Nursing allows for full-time employment working only 3 12-hour shifts per week, coupled with self-scheduling of your own work time. While employed full-time, I would create a schedule that worked for me. One day, I got a wild hair to obtain a California nursing license and went out there on my off days. I began creating a schedule whereby I worked 6 days straight, usually a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday one week, followed by a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday the following week. This allowed for a stretch of 8 days off every other week from Wednesday to Wednesday. For roughly 2 years in 2005 and 2006, I did travel nursing on my off days. I'd hop a flight to the West Coast and work my 8 days off in California. If I wanted to stay longer, I took a week of paid time off and stayed 15 days. If the patient census on the West Coast dropped, I was the first to get canceled. It was no worries though, as I'd just ask the hospital to take me off the schedule for the remainder of my time in the week and go soak up some of the sights. Whether it was renting a bicycle from Blazing Saddles to ride across the Golden Gate Bridge, or cruising the San Francisco Bay underneath the Golden Gate, or exploring Chinatown or the Rock, or a road trip to Reno, Nevada, there was always something to do. If the prospects for work appeared low for several days, Yosemite National Park was a 4.5-hour drive from the Bay Area and has a plethora of trails to explore. From the West Coast, Hawaii is only a 4.5-hour flight from the Bay and offers an equal number of sights to see and places to explore. Nursing is flexible enough to allow all these possibilities. When I stopped travel nursing, I began looking for another supplemental income from the hospital. For 5 years, I began seeing home health patients before and after my night shifts at the hospital. After getting married, my wife wanted me home more to help with the children. I gave up home health and I went PRN, or as needed, at the hospital as I began employment in workers' compensation nurse case management. Along the way, I picked up another certification, this one being Certified Medicare Secondary Payer Certification. In my current role, I perform telephonic case management, field case management, utilization review, diagnostic coordination, contract negotiation, medical cost projections, and Medicare set-aside arrangements. While the license associated with nursing is the Registered Nurse License, there are several ways to obtain that license. Nursing schools offer coursework for the ADRN, or Associate's Degree Registered Nurse, or for the BSN, the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing Registered Nurse. There is also a Diploma Registered Nurse. There are a number of graduate programs available to nurses as well. Some of these graduate programs lead to a new nursing license, the APRN, or Advanced Practice Registered Nurse. Others award advanced nursing degrees while maintaining the Registered Nurse license. Several years ago, I returned to school once again, completing a Master of Science degree in nursing. This one was specific to healthcare systems management. The possibilities are endless. Nursing literally has over 100 specialties from which you can work. If you ever get tired of working in one particular area, there is nothing to stop you from moving into another area of nursing. As America's population continues to age, job security in the field of nursing is strong. You must be certain this is something to which you will remain dedicated. Nursing is not as much a profession as it is a vocation. No different than the commitment you have to your spouse, or a priest to the parish congregation. The commitment you enter into with your patients is sacred. You see humanity from an angle few others see it. No matter how bad your day is going, it is still better than that of your patient. No one wants to be sick. As a nurse, I assist with simple things like feeding hungry patients to cleaning incontinent patients. I look constantly for changes in conditions which warrant medical attention. I draw blood. I start IVs. I discuss care, or the withdrawal of care. I have coded patients whose hearts have stopped beating. I have laughed with patients, and I have cried. I have dealt with personalities about which I knew nothing, from cultural differences to religious differences to lifestyle differences. In each case, your Catholic education at Rummel teaches you the core values you must employ as a nurse. Love. Just as God is love, so too must you be as a nurse. In the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, St. Paul sums up nursing and our interactions with our patients in a nutshell. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is not jealous. Love is not pompous. It is not inflated. It is not rude. It does not seek its own interests, is not quick-tempered. It does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. This is the vocation of nursing. I hope this provides you with some insight on nursing, how to enter the profession, and opportunities available should you decide to pursue this rewarding field of work.